Allah sent him with messages to deliver us from darknesses to the light and from death to the salvation of Allah. May the peace and salvation of that soul, his absolute companions, the majority of Muslims to the end of time. Ameen. Obedient servants of Allah, we are concerned about the state of nation called Nigeria. The level of hardship has thrown everyone out of balance. We begin to ask ourselves whether there was a cause or a spell hovering over the nation called Nigeria. We begin to ask ourselves, who did we offend that our socio-economic challenges appeared unsurmountable despite all efforts and policies? Where did we get it wrong in this nation? Despite the abundant natural, human, and capital endowment of this nation, Nigerians outside Nigeria excel in their choosing fields such as medicine, literature, information and technology, business, administration, science and technology, name it. When they are outside the soil of Nigeria, you hear the name of Nigerians that excel in those choosing fields. They are making waves, adding value to life of others abroad, but they are performing below expectation within their fatherland, Nigeria. These unanswered questions guided us to the theme of today's khutbah entitled اتقوا دعوة المظلوم. Fear the supplication of the oppressed, of the lone voice, of the unheard voice, of people that are not recognized by other human beings, but with Allah. When they raise their hands, their prayers. Why do you have to fear the supplication of the oppressed? It is because there is no veil between the oppressed voice and Allah. Even if he is an unbeliever, oppression is a prohibited act and no one can disguise under the name of government, under the name of community leader, under the guise of the governed, the masses. Whatever is under oppression is oppression and it will be dealt with as such. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in hadith of Abi Dharr عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فيما روى عن الله تبارك وتعالى أنه قال يا عبادي إني حرمت الظلم على نفسي وجعلته بينكم محرما فلا تظالموا. Hadith is in Sahih Muslim. Allah is an hadith, but hadith Qudusi, hadith that Allah spoke directly to the Prophet without the intermediary of Angel Jibril. Allah said, Ya ibadi, oh my servants, inni haramtu zulma ala nafsi. The first law for you to appreciate that I will not look kindly to anybody that does it is for me to have outlawed myself. I have made it unlawful of myself. I have prohibited myself to engage in oppression. Who is to challenge Allah if you oppress? Nobody. Is above everybody. Is above all forces. Is above all knowledge. Is not within your reach and my reach. Yet, he said he has outlawed himself. He has prohibited himself from committing zulm. وَجَعَلْتُهُ بَيْنَكُمْ. And as such, between you, as you be dealing with one another, somebody will be stronger than the other person, somebody may be more influential, somebody may be richer, somebody may be above in position. When you are dealing with one another I don't want to see oppression, aggression, cheating. I don't want to see it amongst you. That is Allah, Ibad Allah. What we need now, let us say this, despite the condition we find ourselves, inflation, hardship, insufficient funds to cater for ourselves, all sorts of problems, banditry, just name it, kidnapping. Yes, despite all those challenges, what we need now is not the call, remove bad government protest. It's not. As Muslims, we do not revolt against constituted authority. We enter into dialogue. We force them to come to dialogue with us. And through that process, we make them realize what they assume they know that they don't know. That is what is expected as believers under all circumstances. I'm not saying this because the president is a Muslim or not. Let it be a kufar. When it's already constituted, what you do is to walk around it, sit the system down, and have a constructive dialogue for them to see reason. And above all, you have an instrument that you are not using, that you will not be penalized for using it. That is raising your hands up and call unto Allah for a change. Was it not in this nation that somebody was terrorizing us? He wanted to change from khaki to agbada. Still want to rule us. Between closing eyes and opening it, what happened? Allah removed that system, replaced it with another one. Is supplication. Before that time, he asked 1,000 Quran to be recited. Wallahi. Tell whoever is leading, send 1 million people to Hajj or Jerusalem to go and pray to sustain your system. Know that when 2 million people are suffering at home, one person among 1 million or that 200 million, if he raises his hand up, his prayer will be accepted before the prayer of those who have gone into Hajj or Haram. Therefore, what we need is to solve the problem that is militating against progress, that defy all policies and solutions you are preparing. What Allah will use to guide leaders and followers is their faith in Allah. Therefore, have an endless faith in Him. Brothers and sisters in Islam, protest will inflict greater hardship on masses whose businesses may be interrupted or destroyed because miscreants and thugs may hijack it for their selfish interests. Experience is abound around us on social media that can tell us that the repercussion of a protest of this magnitude of people are planning is disastrous. Youth and government need to learn. They need to learn fast from the aftermath effect of 2020 NSAS protests on lives, local and public properties, and particularly there is ongoing protest in Kenya. It's no longer protest, it's a tumult, a disaster hovering upon that country. And it started gradually like this. Why should our leaders be waiting until people say they want to protest before they provide their basic needs while they have been choosing to lead us? They should not wait. The repercussion is not good. Masses will suffer more. Forces will meet. It may escalate to a mini war. Lives that may be lost cannot be replaced. And it will usually from masses. The leaders of all categories may be spared of this danger. Therefore, brothers and sisters, the youth, you are here. Your solution is not in the protest. Your solution are one, constructive criticism and dialogue. Secondly, if you cannot access that, then access supplication to Allah. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man ra'a minkum munkaran falyughayyiru biyadihi, fa in lam yastati' fa bi lisanihi, fa in lam yastati' fa bi qalbihi, fa dhalika da'bul iman." He knows that these stages of remedy may not be available all the time. At least one of it must be available. There was a time, brothers and sisters, in this nation when we saw military as the clog in the wheel of our progress. Then we brought in democracy. Later, President Obasanjo was thought to be our problem, even though he wants to stay a little longer. Speculations. Unwillingly, he left office. President Goodluck Jonathan, the president with PhD, who claimed to come from poor background, was expected to be the Messiah. But soon or later, he was tagged the Nigerian problem. PNB, President Muhammad Buhari, had his ups and downs moment with Nigeria. The history, whatever remains after that, is history that you all know. These individuals are a mirror image of the quality of Nigerians. They are brought from Nigerians. They were not imported. They were not children, Nigerians that were abroad, living abroad and just came in to become president. They were raised amongst you and me. Therefore, the way we are is the way we are seeing them doing. How many of us are not oppressing another person in your own corner? How many? Are we expecting magic? It will not happen. Therefore, inna Allah la yughayyiru ma biqawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. If we let us energize ourselves, let us change our mindset, and let us see what Allah will do thereafter. The people of Yunus, alayhi salatu wasalam, they were wrongdoers, they were oppressors. The prophet talked to them and threatened them with the punishment of Allah. They did not change. Prophet Yunus left the city because he saw that the cloud that was above them will rain disaster on the city. He left. But between the time it will rain disaster and the time he left, the people changed. All of them, they changed. They fasted. They left the city to outskirts to go and repent. And Allah changed fear to hope. Nigerians, we still have hope. But let us all jointly agree to change what is wrong within us. I say these individuals are mirror image of the quality of Nigerians who produce them. Why they are to be blamed, we also have the share of the blame from ourselves. We say no to protest. I repeat, we say no to protest as Muslims, but suggest constructive criticism of government policies, and we call for objective dialogue between the leaders and the led. Our position is not because the leaders of Nigeria are Muslims. That is the principle of Islam to resolve impasse. The government and the governed and the government should address issues of the oppressed. In most cases, the oppressed are the masses. For instance, why should a huge sum of money be devoted for payment of the retirees' pensions and gratuity? Take it from Abuja and you get to your state capitals and you divert it to something else. Will the retiree be happy? Their family are living in abject poverty. The mere that they felt oppressed within them is sufficient for Allah to deal with that system. And that is the repercussion of some of what we are getting. Today, some of us will be made to distribute palliatives. You know how you distribute it among your family members, among your party members, among those who that are on their own. They should also give palliative. Is that not oppression again on the masses? Would masses be happy with the system? If they are not happy with the system, send 1 million people to Hajj. It will not solve the problem. Resolve the differences first and expect what Allah will do. Remember that Allah promised the oppressed an instant acceptance of supplication. He said, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Amman yujibu al-muditarra idha da'ahu wa yakshifu as-suha wa yaj'alukum khulafa'a al-ardi a ilahum ma'a Allahi qalilan ma tazkurun. Amman yujibu al-muditarra. Who is that who listens to the oppressed soul? Who is that who listens to the voiceless person when he is going through distress because of your handiwork? When he calls on him, who is that person that listens to it? And who relieves his suffering? Is it not Allah? Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam emphasized this point further. He said in hadith of Abu Huraira, Salasatun la turaddu da'watuhum. 3 people, when they supplicate, there is no doubt about the acceptability of their prayer. Struggle to be one of those people. If you are one of them, when you supplicate, Allah will accept it. 1. Al-Imam al-Adilu, a just leader, is not just Imam leading prayer. Anybody that is a leader anywhere, you are in your home, you are the father of the house, you are the president in your home. At work, you are the head of unit or HOD, you are the president in that unit. You are in a ministry and you are the pamphlet. You know how many people are under you. Then, there and then, you are the president there. You are a leader and Allah called on you. Brother Sam said, if you perform brilliantly well without oppressing anybody, when you supplicate, Allah will accept the supplication. And you will see that that's the problem we're having today. How many of the ulama can we run to and say, supplicate for us, and we are expecting it to be answered? We were told in this city, one of our fathers that had gone, may Allah be pleased with his return, when there was no rain, he called on Allah. Before everybody got back home, it started raining. Those are the people that manage the relationship between them and Allah. Their secret and public are the same. Are we doing the same again? Let us checkmate ourselves. Wasaimu, the second category, are those who fast when they fast, hatta yuftira, until they break the fast. Choose that opportunity to pray for this nation. Wadawat al-mazlumin yarfa'uha Allahu duna al-jamam. And the prayer of the distressed mind, the hungry people, the oppressed people, when they pray to Allah, there is no cloud that will stop the prayer. Nobody will be an intermediary between them. Ibadallah, when shall we stop oppression? The children of masses struggle to be educated. They trek long distances. Sometimes it is 001, sometimes it's 100, and at the end of the day, they struggle to have a certificate. The juicy job, some people are already there. It's only meant for the influential one. And when they cannot find any of their children filling that vacancy, they will still sell it at unaffordable amount to the children of masses, will you not fear Allah? When will these masses, the poor people, get out of their poverty? They have struggled to educate their children. Why don't you provide enabling environment for them? It's an oppression. Remember that the supplication of the oppressed does not have any barrier. It goes straight to Allah. A poet said, وَأَفْنِيَةُ الْمُلُوكِ مُحَجَّبَةٌ وَبَابُ اللَّهِ لَيْسَ لَهُ فِنَاءٌ. There is no gate, there is no door between the prayer of an oppressed person and Allah. It doesn't go through the doors of a king or a president before it is channeled to Allah, who accepts the prayer. My honorable listeners, brothers and sisters in Islam, correct your oppressive attitude today and seek forgiveness from the oppressed souls. Let our leaders do the same. We have been oppressed differently. The Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in a hadith of Jabir bin Abdullah, anna Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam called, اتقوا الظلم فإن الظلم ظلمات يوم القيامة واتقوا الشوه فإن الشوه أهلك من كان قبلكم حملهم على سفاك دماءهم واستحلوا محارمهم. The Prophet said, warn us against two attitudes. One, اتقوا الظلم, fear, beware of the consequences of oppression. Because oppression, not only in this world you see the consequences, on the day of judgment, it will be casted as a shade, dark shade over you. And beware of stinginess. If Allah has given you benefit, or that other people are suffering now, let people know that Allah has made yours to be a little better, softer, assist those that need to be assisted. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلم تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد آمين. بسم الله اللهم صل على الحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم لك الحمد حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه حمدا يوافي النعم ويكافئ المزيد. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. وأوفوا بعهد الله إذا عاهدتم ولا تنقضوا الأيمان بعد توكيدها وقد جعلتم الله عليكم كفيلا إن الله يعلم ما تفعلون. adúpẹ́ fún Ọlọ́run ọba tó ṣẹ́wà kù lẹ́nu ìjẹjọ sí òní. Ọlọ́run ló máa yan tó ti wọ ìsàlẹ̀ òkè táwà yìí láti bọ́ sínú sàárè. Ọlọ́run tó dá wa sí kì í ṣe mímọ̀ ṣe wa o, ó fún wa ní àǹfààní àti ṣàtúnṣe tí a bá ṣe dáadáa, ó fún wa láǹfààní àti lékún lórí dáadáa tá a bá ń ṣe ni o. Ẹ ká rí bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ní ọ̀sọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀ tá a bá ti ń pàdé ara wa, ká máa bèèrè lọ́wọ́ ara wa pé ọ̀nà wo ni mo gbà lékún, ọ̀nà wo ni mo gbà dínkù, ká wá ṣe àtúnṣe níbi tó bá yẹ ká ti ṣe àtúnṣe. Ìtàgbéyẹ̀wò nínú khutbah ti tòní ó ní hadith láti mú